it best when you say nothing at all.
That was quite the intro.
Yep. I like that.
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I post videos every single Friday around 4:30 in the afternoon. And today we are going to talk about our trails that we've been on, landmarks that are special to Colorado Springs. We're going to tell you a little bit about our experience traveling through these trails. The very first one that we're going to talk about is the Palmer Trail. This one is 5.7 miles, and I think it is a loop.
Yep.
Where you start off. This was our very first one that we ever went to.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. We've done 4 or 5 trails at this point, and it was probably my favorite. It offered probably the best views so far. It offered the most different kind of terrain. You would be walking through on ice sometimes, on rock. You could sometimes be walking with just a t-shirt. Other times you needed a jacket and a hat. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, you're going up the mountain, so you're looking straight at the mountain as you're walking. But when you turn around, you see the mountain views and you just see yourself getting higher and higher and higher. So it's really awesome. And at one point, since it's a loop, you circle around the entire mountain, so you get different views.
Nothing to it, huh?
Whoa. Bless you.
Thank you. It's just funny because like if you fall, you're toast. Toast if you fall. You're not. I mean, you won't die, but you'll break a bunch of shit. Then you'll die from, not being able to make it out.
Yeah. Besides that.
Besides that.
I don't know why I'm getting really scared. I'm good though. I'm good. So this is our first weekend in Colorado Springs. It's pretty awesome. They recommend to go during the spring and the fall because in the spring there's a lot of flowers, and then during the fall the trees are just all sorts of different colors. We did have those hiking boots, but we didn't have any
Yeah, we didn't have spikes.
spikes, and
It would have been useful to have spikes.
yeah, because there was ice at one point throughout the trail because it had snowed a few days before. It was really slippery, and I was so nervous at times. My legs were shaking because I thought I was just gonna go flying down the mountain. But that didn't happen, so we made it out safely. But
Yeah.
I suggest if it's icy or if it snowed the day before, make sure you have the right equipment so that you can go and enjoy yourself and not be anxious about falling down the mountain. This was the very first trail that we went to that you saw wildlife actually on the trail.
Yeah, we saw some deer. They were really awesome. They were big deer.
I've never seen wild deer before, so I was quite shocked. Did you point it out? Did you see it first?
Yeah.
Cooper saw it. He had the eyes of an owl. I'm just walking around, minding my own business. He's like, Tor, shh, shh. And I'm like, what? Sure enough, there's the deer. And they're looking up at us like, who are you? What do you do in my woods? But they were so cute. When you get to the top, you do have the rocks that you can look out, and it's an outlook, right?
Mm-hmm. And you can see for a long, long ways. It's really great. Like I said, it's my favorite trail. It offers all around the best views so far.
I am actually really scared of heights, and Cooper is not, and he will just go on that rock off of the ledge, standing there.
What you gonna do?
With no shaking legs.
Like
go
adventure.
like this. Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm just
having
over
some
here
fun.
like, okay, I'm gonna sit down to get to this ledge, and I'm creeping and crawling around it.
Yeah, but you do it eventually. You get there eventually.
Yeah, I'm trying to overcome that fear, and it's really crazy because each trail that we've been on with everyone, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I found that I'm become more of a risk taker. Keep in mind that we have experienced these trails in the wintertime. Depending on the season, they're gonna look different. Like a completely different trail.
When you make it to the last maybe 20 minutes of the hike, it's all down this, at least during the winter, snow-covered road. It's really beautiful and really peaceful. It's a really nice way to end the hike.
And then there was this one guy who comes out of nowhere, though, and he just starts sledding down this thing on his tennis shoes. And we're like, okay.
Yeah, he was a real one.
What would you rate it from 1 to 10, the Palmer Trail?
9. It was by far my favorite trail so far.
I think I would give it an 8.
Okay.
Next one is the Lower Columbine Trail.
The actual Lower Columbine Trail is only 2.2 miles, but then there's a Middle Columbine Trail, and I'm guessing there's an Upper Columbine Trail. We actually started the first maybe 25-30 minutes of the Middle Columbine Trail. Even the first 30 minutes was better than the Lower Columbine. We actually went off the path, did some rock climbing. It was really awesome, got some awesome views. The Lower Columbine Trail is pretty cool. It's not too difficult, it's pretty, it's not too steep, but it still offers good views of nature.
It's not as difficult as the Palmer Trail, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's more flat surface. It's not completely open space, but you get a lot more space than just a narrow trail.
Little walkway.
It's really pretty during the winter time too, because there was snow just everywhere on the trees. When we got towards the end, you go across the road, and Cooper went to this more difficult path.
Oh yeah, like the last 2 or 3 minutes of it, you can take this off the beaten different path, a slightly more difficult path.
We realized it. We were like, oh wait, we could have just went across the street, and we just went around this cave or something. Kept going for a little while and went to the end of that one, and then found that there was another trail. And that trail, it was a little bit more difficult. You're going uphill again.
Yeah, definitely steeper.
There was these parts on the side of the trail. There was these huge rocks, and Cooper just looked at him. He was like, what do you usually say?
Desire to climb is strong.
Desire to climb is strong. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't really want to climb rocks and go up the trail. I want to be safe and just go on the trail. You know what? Why not? Let me just give it a try.
Do it. Yep.
And so we went up, and there was just bigger rocks and bigger surfaces for you to climb on. Oh, I remember on the way to that one, we did see another deer. We saw so many deer on the middle of the road, and it just went into somebody's backyard.
Yeah, but I mean, they pretty much expect that around there. It's up a mountain.
I was shocked again. I was like, there's a deer. Okay, what would you rate the Lower Columbine from 1 to 10 for your overall experience?
6.5.
I would rate it a 7. The Garden of the Gods.
Mm-hmm. Colorado Springs is basically the most famous quote-unquote trail we've been on. The actual Garden of the Gods, part that most people do and most people think of, this walkway that's maybe 1 mile, 2 miles total. Probably not even that, but just it's paved. There's a lot of people that go through there. It's very safe, very low difficulty. It's really pretty, but if you're looking for actual real hiking, there's much better trails in Colorado Springs. But I still had a good time, and it's a really nice place to go if you're just trying to have a really kind of chill day.
It was a little bit more difficult for the parking though. So if you want to go, I would get there extremely early so that you can get parking and then just walk your way to the trails, because we had to park a long way. Yeah,
farther down from where it actually starts. So yeah, parking, they might have 50 spots by where the Garden of the Gods trail starts, and then you got to walk up the mountain to get to the start. So yeah, get there early.
Because it is a tourist destination, so there's going to be a lot more people, a lot more crowds than these other trails that we were telling you about. Not everybody can do the trails because of the difficulty. Mm-hmm. So this is more family-oriented. People are biking on some of the trails that had ice, and I didn't know how they were doing that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Going up and running up the hill.
Yep.
How do they get oxygen?
Yeah.
For me, honestly, I expected it to be a lot more grander than it actually was, to be honest. A lot of people rave about it, but I didn't find it to be like, oh my gosh, I need to be here every weekend kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I pretty much felt the same way. It was beautiful, it was really cool, peaceful, and a nice hike, but from what people have talked about and, like Tori said, raved about it, it didn't live up to that expectation.
So I would rate this a 7.5.
I'd give it a 6.
Moving on to Catamount Trail.
Yep. My second favorite.
Yeah, this one was probably my top for me.
Okay.
So it says it was 5.8 miles. We didn't actually finish it.
No, we went probably a little bit more than halfway. We stopped when we got to the top of the mountain.
Because we had to feed Max.
Yeah, because we had to go back and feed Max.
We kind of started late that day. We tried to get out earlier, around 10 or 11 at least, so that we have, 4 hours or so to actually do the hike and finish it. But that day we kind of had a late start. The Catamount Trail, to get to it, it is a lot different than the other trails, because the other trails, they had these nice parking areas. You get out, there's your trail right there.
Yeah. Not quite with this one. There is no parking where the trail starts. None.
All right, we're going on our hike.
Starting up a very steep walk to the hike.
Up here. And my legs are already feeling it. It's like a big lift to see Bigfoot print photos taken right where you are standing. Oh my goodness. That's creepy.
It's a secluded little side street in a mountain town that there's maybe 30 or so houses in total down the road, but it's up a very steep part of the mountain, and you gotta park probably at least a 20-minute, 25-minute walk away from the start of the trail, so that's not fun. But once you get to the start of the trail, you actually, at least during the winter, you gotta go across this completely iced over walkway.
Video of you sliding down it if you want.
Well, maybe when we come back down, but this
Yeah.
is all ice, and we had to trek up here. Basically on the side of those trees. Probably should have worn some spikes.
Yeah, spikes would have
Ooh.
We actually had to use bushes and stuff to pull our way up the side of the mountain, up this icy road. Once we did that, we got to the start of the trail, and it was an awesome, awesome trail.
It was very beautiful. Going back to actually getting to it, it was so steep, the walk, that you're going to feel it in your glutes and your legs the next day, okay? Because that was your pre-hike to the hike. Heart was beating hard already. I was like, man, we haven't even gotten to the trail yet, and I'm tired.
Yep.
Prepare yourself for that. I think it was just hilarious, honestly. It was just so funny. Pavement of ice. It was uphill.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just flat surface. There was this one girl, she looked concerned about something, and while we were going up, she was like, yeah, we were doing the same thing. I'm like, yeah, this is really hard. And then there's one girl like way out in the distance, she's like, yeah, I lost my phone going down this thing.
Yeah, that was something else.
Finally made our way out.
Yep.
This is our entrance. Look at these icicles.
You can hear the water running.
Wow,
You just
where's
can't
it
see
going?
it. You just can't see it, but you can hear it.
Look at this ice. This is literally like an ice skating rink.
It really is skateboard. This is like really good. You okay? Just don't actually step. You have to like slide.
Okay. This is fun. And next to the bridge is another pavement of ice that you can just go ice skating around, and it was just so fun. You can just get in a little squat position and you can just go sliding down. It's amazing. I think I would describe this trail as Narnia, as the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, that's what you kept saying.
This is like Narnia. We're in Narnia, but Colorado version. It looked like you were in the Chronicles of Narnia, but you just felt you were in an enchanted world. It was a lot less on a path, so to speak, and you were in the environment. Rocks that you had to climb up over.
Yeah, it was a difficult trail. I would not recommend this for someone who's looking for just a nice, chill, easy day. But it was absolutely worth it. It's kind of exactly the kind of trail I was looking for.
We even saw this weird skull-looking thing. So if you ever go look for this skull. Did it say anything on the skull?
No, but we named it Steve.
We did name it Steve the Skull. We'll include Steve in here. Oh, we did go on it again when it was super icy. So at some points we were slipping and we had to be super careful. A tip for that is to lean your weight forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're walking.
That way, at least if you fall forward. You don't want to fall backwards.
Oh no, and you want to be in control of that fall as well. So without spikes on your boots, you have to be very careful coming up rocks. So make sure you got a good sturdy ground and just up like that.
Yep. Now, will she make it to the other side? We shall see.
Well, come on and follow me. Like a winter wonderland. There's a Yeah, this might be a challenging one for beginners, but we're not amateurs anymore because we've been on about 3 hikes.
So yeah, definitely not amateurs anymore. Of course not.
And this one, how it's aligned is you're kind of going up and around like this. You can see yourself getting higher and higher.
You can literally see your progress the entire time.
Right. Once you got to the top, there were just these big, huge rocks that you can climb on and have just amazing view of whole Colorado Springs.
Little side trails that would lead to overlooks where you could see all over different parts of the town, and it was really cool.
Whenever we were to the top and we were kind of just laying on these rocks, just sit back and lay sometimes and just take it all in. You could see that you were closer to the clouds, which is really cool. And also we saw the birds, they were flying, and we could just see their backside instead of their
we were looking down.
front,
we were looking down on them. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
So cool. There you go. Turn around, there's another mountain behind us. My boo.
My boo and my cookie.
And your cookie. Oh, on the way back, you were trying to grab on, remember that path, that ice block?
Oh,
pavement?
yeah.
He was trying to grab onto a tree or a branch and just fell down. And I tried not to laugh. And I was like, are you?
Oh yeah, I fell hard. That hurt. It's literally just like falling onto concrete. It's solid as solid gets. But that gave Tori the idea to just like, hey, why not just slide down? And once I saw her doing that, I did the same thing, and that was actually a lot of fun.
It's nice to just be a kid again and be like, you know what? I'm not going to do this the normal way. I'm going to slide down this pavement. I don't care what I look like. What would you rate Catamount?
Overall, just for me, a 9. I loved it.
I would give it a 9 too. Our last adventure that we went on so far was the Royal Gorge.
Yes.
So it looks like we'll have to eat lunch in the car because I could tell as soon as I saw this place that like outside food and drink wasn't going to be open.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's our thing, so. We get a little documentary at the end too.
We still wanted to go outside and do something kind of halfway nature-y, so we went to this place called the Royal Gorge, close to Canyon City in Colorado. There's a bridge that spans it. It's called the Royal Gorge Bridge. I'm pretty sure it's the highest suspension bridge in America. It was a lot of fun. You do have to pay to go on it, which is kind of lame, but it's only $25. And with that, you get a few other things, like you can take a gondola ride across it. That unfortunately was closed when we went because it was super windy. Because it was super windy, that made it super cold. Wow, it was cold. They show you a documentary about when it was built, why it was built, and it's easy. Anybody can do it.
It's called like America's Bridge or something because they have
the 50 states.
Plates on the bridge, so you can see whatever state you're from. So I think we took a picture next to Louisiana.
Yeah.
The difference between a canyon and a gorge is a canyon is wide on the top and the bottom.
Canyon.
Canyon.
Mm-hmm. It's all good.
The difference between a gorge and a canyon is a canyon is both wide from the top to the bottom. A gorge is wide at the top and then it narrows as you go to the bottom. I think the Missouri River runs across it on the bottom.
We should know this. I should look it up real quick. I'm pretty sure it's the Arkansas River.
Oh, the Arkansas River, yep. Yep. I think you can go on a train at the bottom. We didn't get a chance to do that.
You can also zip line.
You can zip line too, which we really want to do.
Mm-hmm. And then there's something called like a sky coaster where imagine like a pole and you're attached to a long string on the pole and they start you off at one side and they just let you go. And when they let you go, when you're swinging down the top of the swing on the other side, you're hanging directly above the gorge. So that looked really cool. Didn't get to do that again, but we'll be back sooner or later.
Oh yeah. There's parking right next to the gorge. We just ate our lunch right there. Before they built the bridge, families would just go down and just hang out by the rocks, and it would be called the Brave Moms or something because they were risking their lives having a picnic over the side of a gorge. What would you rate that?
I'd give it 7.5.
I'd give it a 9.
I'd probably push it to 8.5 if we could have done the gondola across
Yeah.
and maybe done the sky coaster. That would have been awesome.
I mean, I only give it a 9 because of just how beautiful it was.
Oh yeah,
Just
absolutely
to see
amazing.
the detail of it, and
You're insanely high when you're on that bridge when you look down.
but not really though, because the gorge is going underneath the ground.
Yeah, you're. It's not like being on the Empire State Building where you're thousands of feet above everybody else, but you're still above like an 1,800-foot drop.
True. You have anything else to add about our adventures that we've been on so far?
Just looking forward to the next ones.
I am too. Now, we didn't do one this weekend because it's snowing like a blizzard. I think that is all that we have. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
Oh, he's so cute.